What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now today, we are back with another great video from the great man Cricket Raz, of course. The part 2 of the last part that we reacted to, or the second installment, if you will. Who scored 19 runs and got a standing ovation from the England team in 2002. Now, 2002, I was born that year, so I do remember watching this one live at the stadium, of course. But hey, if you are new, subscribe, leave a like, comment down below. Get into it.
Two gambles. The second match of the India-England Test series could be said to be a story of two gambles. Right behind an excruciating defeat at the hands of England, losing their experienced spinner and wicketkeeper to injury, facing a near-sure defeat in the next match. The Indian team responded with two gambles. One that would change the result of this match, the other the shape of Indian cricket. Today, let's see the story of the second test of the Flintoff Ganguly saga, the story of the Great Escape. By 2002, openers in the Indian team seemed to be playing a game of musical chairs. Every few months, a new hero would emerge. An opener with technique, temperament, skill be promptly promoted into the main team and soon, armed with a series of single-digit score, quickly disappear from the face of the earth. Starting from 1999, the list of openers included names like Sidhu, Mongia, Ramesh, Sanjay Manjrekar, Jadeja, Raman, Vikram Rathod, Venkatesha Lakshman to even Rahul Dravid. And now, we had stopped on Shiv Sundar Das and Wasim Jaffer, whose batting average in the last 5 test outing was 16 and 20.
Hold on a minute. Wasim Jaffer, Punjab Kings legend. Just had to get that out there.
The search for openers was soon to begin again with no viable candidates available for the position now.
He's easily the best candidate.
It was Captain Ganguly along with coach John Wright, who standing on the balcony of the Lords came up with a radical solution to the problem. Convince a batsman with absolutely no experience as an opener in tests, not even in domestic or junior circuits, to now suddenly open for India against England at Lords. The batsman, Virender Sehwag. The sales pitch that was soon to change her destiny went something like this. You are going to open this time. A nervous Sehwag replied, why me? The response had no assurance of his talent and no praises for his potential. It just had a carrot and a stick. The stick, the middle order is too crowded, and no one has ever made his career by sitting on the bench. So why don't you just open? Sehwag, who had already been dropped from the squad once, quietly asked, but what if I get out? And then came the carrot. Even if you fail, you won't be dropped. I'll make sure to give you a chance in the middle order. So basically, Dada, for all intended purposes, had given Sehwag a free pass. Like a gambler gambling on the house's money. If he wins, good. If he doesn't, he's rewarded with the exact thing he wanted in the first place. So that day, on a gloomy Lord's morning, when Sehwag took the crease, he did so with the sole aim of enjoying himself. That had resulted in 84 runs on his very first outing. And that too on a pitch where 7 out of 11 players had failed to even cross into double digits. So now, there was some hope. Hope that Sehwag could stabilize the top, dulling the early onslaught, allowing the middle order to breathe a bit. And with the bowling having failed miserably last time, topped with the loss of Kumble this time, Ganguly had decided to hedge all of his bets on batting. Bat first, bat big, and make England bat on the last day of the test. Give your weakness the best chances of victory. And so, as the day of the match arrived, in a match that was going to be marred with bad light and sudden downpour, conditions that historically support swing bowling, Dada won the toss and unhesitatingly elected to bat. A surprising decision that initially seemed to be a big blunder. Supported by the overcast condition buoyed by the last victory, Hoggard wrecked through the Indian lineup. His first 10 overs going for mere 17 runs along with Jaffer for 0 and Dravid on 13. India now reeling on 34 for 2. They were now in danger of being swept by the English storm. But there was something different this time. Normally, if you lose quick wickets, cricketing common sense would dictate you start defending. Stop the bleeding, stabilize the inning, make sure that you don't take any risks. Right? Well, the difference was, this time, India had a Sehwag. Opener Sehwag. Nothing to lose. Sehwag, who then in the face of a breathtaking barrage, started a soul-crushing carnage. Where the rest of the team was batting at a strike rate of 17, Sehwag completed his half-century at a strike rate of 50. Now I agree, this wasn't his most destructive knock. But at that time, to have an opener bat with such flourish on such a pitch, it was just explosive enough to take all the pressure away from the batsman standing on the other end. So, first with Sachin, then with Ganguly.
Hold on a fucking minute. Go back to that. Goodness me, that made me horny.
enough to take all the pressure away from the batsman standing on the other end. So, first with Sachin, then with
Goodness me,
Ganguly.
was that Suag who hit that? That is just pure beautiful.
All the pressure away from the batsman standing on the other end. So,
Is it? Might be Suag.
first with
Fuck,
Sachin,
what a
then with
shot.
Ganguly. Sehwag kept on piling runs, completing his century in just his second
Yeah,
match
Suag.
as a test opener. And that start soon led to Dada's half century, Harbhajan's second fastest test century in
Harbhajan.
India's history, and last match's
up.
centurion, Agarkar's 34, taking India
G.
to 357 in 3 days.
Yeah,
So at least till this
bad.
point, Ganguly's gamble seemed to have worked. India's strong point had put up a fighting total on board. The problem was that now its Achilles heel, its bowling, it was about to be exposed
Transfer was
to
seen to roll
English
the arm
batting,
over.
who in response tore it apart.
Ah,
I mean,
fuck.
tore it apart. Where India had taken 2 days to touch 300, England reached there within 2 sessions. In what Nasir Hussain later described as one of the best innings he had ever seen from an English bat, Michael
gotta
Vaughan
be
went on to
match
score
fixing.
197 runs in 258 balls. His second century in as many matches.
That's a
And then,
fair
just like last match, he was soon joined by the rest of his team. Half century from Butcher, 87 from Stewart, 94 from White for a total of 617 runs. And to top all of this off, they
luck.
somehow even managed to take out both Jafar and Sehwag before the end of the 4th day's play. So now
Wasim
we had the
again?
last day of the test, the informed batsman gone, and Sachin and Dravid at the crease. Exactly the same situation that Dada had wanted to avoid. If they could not play
Hold on, just double check that it's recording as my face cam has been dodgy today. Good to go. I'll edit that out, don't worry. But yes, I have had some recording issues. Just double checking.
through the last day, it would mean going down 2-0. But more importantly, it would mean losing any chances of winning this series. For a demoralized team on a foreign ground, there could be nothing more disastrous than not having any hope. So this final day, in a sense, was going to decide the entire series. And it wasn't looking good. From the first over itself, the pitch was
shit
assisting
shot.
the bowlers.
Oh, he dropped
Some
it.
balls would take off from a good length, others staying low, making time on the crease. Nothing short of a minefield. It was to the point that Sachin and Dravid would get beaten each and every over. And in response to all of that, all they did was smile. Yes. Each time they would get beaten, they would look at each other
Good ball.
and smile.
ball.
They would get together to chat at the end of each over, never once giving any advice, nor any reassurance, nor discussing any of the deliveries that they had missed. They would simply talk about this and that and move on to the next ball.
what's
Their
for dinner
time at the
tonight,
crease
boys?
was something like a pilgrimage to put their head down and bat and bat and bat, slowly but gradually wearing the day away. The half centuries that were completed, they were just an afterthought. And even when Sachin got out, just 8 runs away from his century, Dada simply took the baton and continued to run the marathon, all while standing planted on the crease. By the time Dravid had got out on 115, India had taken a 50-run lead.
Yeah,
The Indian
alright,
middle order
okay.
had slowly but surely
Standing up.
taken India out of the
about
most
Wasim?
dangerous waters.
I mean,
And
no, he went
watching
out,
all
that's
of
right.
this happen from the shore, the Englishmen slowly grew desperate, leading to what happened on the second half of the last day, where
they
suddenly there was a
bull camped
sharp increase in bouncers
Oh, shit,
from the
that's
bowlers as well as the slips. Each ball was accompanied by a few spicy verbal barbs, each over with a choice exchange.
No way,
After
not
all,
England.
that was the plan, right? You can just anger Ganguly into taking his wicket. So for 159 balls, the onslaught continued.
Oh, what a
Everyone
shot.
desperately trying to guard Dada into giving his wicket. And finally, when he fell,
Another shot.
just 1 run away from his century.
Oh,
Not
that's
from the
scary.
sledging, mind you,
Bit
but
too
from a
wide.
blinder from Harmison. The relief, discontent, and jubilation that English team felt. It could be clearly described by the fact that Flintoff, who had gone off field to go to the washroom at the time, he came running back out with drinks just so that he could hurl abuses at Ganguly. Abuses
Bro.
mainly amounting to, "We are gonna bury you now."
Damn.
And it made sense. The remaining lineup read Agarkar Bhaji, Parthiv Patel and Zahir Khan,
Yeah.
but with the century and half century scorers getting out in back-to-back
Half.
overs, the calculation seemed dire. 2 more wickets and England would have to score 130 in just
Harbhajan.
20 overs. A seemingly easy task for the informed English batsman. So, in spite of the heart-wrenching effort, the match seemed to be heading to the same place where it had started from. Just another loss. And so it was, with the English team circling the waters and the Indian team watching on in nervousness, that the second gamble, India's second youngest debutant,
Ajay?
a 17-year-old Parthiv Patel,
Parthiv!
slowly walked out. Now, if Sehwag was Ganguly's gamble,
Wait, hold
then
on. Did they just say he was 17?
a 17-year
He was 17. Bro, when I was 17, I was learning about my body. I'll let it that out.
Role Parthiv Patel slowly walked out. Now, if Sehwag was Ganguly's gamble, then sending Parthiv Patel to this tour was the selectors.
Right, he looks
After
5 years
Gilchrist had
old.
introduced a new concept to the world, a wicketkeeper who could bat. Selectors
big,
had
yeah.
been on a desperate search for someone similar. And just like the opener's musical chair, wicketkeepers seemed to be having a game of kho-kho between them. MSK Prasad, Samay Dhige, Sabha Karim, Vijay Dahiya, Deep Das Gupta, Ajay Ratara and Nayan Mongia, all of them tried and failed. So sending Parthiv Patel to England, someone who wasn't even a wicketkeeper for his own Ranji team, it had a very clear goal behind it. If we can't find a wicketkeeper who can bat, maybe we can find a batsman who can wicket keep. So Parthiv was just supposed to be an understudy to Ajay Ratara. Just watch and learn and gain some experience. So now, taking the crease due to Ajay Ratara being injured, it was as much as a surprise to him as it was to the selectors. Hence, Parthiv Patel would later go on to say, "What did I have to lose? I was just 17 back then, surrounded by names whom I couldn't even dream to
That's
meet
what I'm
one day.
saying.
So what did I have to lose?" And this attitude, it showed, whereas any other would have just wilted under the lights. Parthiv Patel just dug his feet in.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. First ball, I would have tried to sweep that for 6. So he's a better man than I am.
For 84 minutes, he stood there. Balls came, so did the bouncers, so did the constant verbal jabs. Was he the team mascot, they asked. Where was his babysitter, they asked. Each and every close call being used as a weapon to shake his psyche. And in response to all of that, he just stood there. 84 minutes, he would stand. 60 balls, he would face. 19 runs, he would score. But such was the importance of those 19 runs that England, the same England that had done everything in his power to bully him into submission, they then asked him to lead both the teams in the post-match ceremony. After a 7.8 batting average bowler had saved India's face in the last test, now a 17-year-old debutant had stood his ground and drawn a test for India. In Ganguly's words, they had managed to pull off a great escape.
And all thanks to that
this
great
match
man,
would mark a
Parthiv.
huge shift in this entire team's mindset. Going from the highs of highs to the lows of lows, they seem to have come out much more resilient on the other end. In spite of how close it was, this draw was seen as proof that they were enough talent, enough grit, enough perseverance, that what they had done till now in England wasn't just coincidence or miracle. It was a testament to their capability. And so would start the final arc of the series. The final 2 tests that were to be a climax of a 2-year-long showdown. One team that was furious at losing its prey from its jaw, and another that had resolved to grit itself to victory. Both coming head to head on the fields of Headingley. So don't forget to tune in to the final part of the saga. Till then, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a good day. Thank you for watching.
Hey, shout out, of course, to the great... Why does it say I'm not subscribed when I... Oh, no, it's because I'm not logged into my channel. That's why. But hey, shout out to the man Cricket Raz, always coming with the GOAT content right here. Man, Parthiv Patel, the hero. Looking forward to the next few episodes here. Also, this keeps popping up. Every time I react to a Cricket Raz video, this is always the next thing that pops up. I don't know why. Anyway, shout out to the great cricketer. Hey, I hope we all enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see everyone in the next one.